Hello everyone, Fatty from Pack a Punch Traders here. Gonna go over the top plays for tomorrow, February 13th. Hope everyone has had a great weekend so far, studied up, reviewed the week, any lessons, and just get prepared for tomorrow. So here we are with the watch list. One of the top plays on watch is BBBY. We have been looking at this play for a few days now. For the multi-day bounce, just keeps fading. Selling pressure keeps fading, so we'll see. Hopefully, it's not one of those that just does nothing and just slowly keeps on fading. This one here, this move ended up having a decent little bounce. So we'll just be patient, wait for the setup to show itself, and if it doesn't, oh well. There are other multi-day bounces to play. So this one's just a good candidate for that patterns, for that setup. So keep this one on watch, as well as VINO. This one as well has just been fading way off of the highs now. Low float, so we'll see if this can reverse now that it's approaching another whole dollar, half dollar area, 1.5. So we'll see what this offers. But again, just wait for it to show itself. If it doesn't, ignore it. Don't need to force anything. I know it does seem, after giving so many examples of how the multi-day bounce works and how it is a pretty reliable play, um, you are going to see occasionally plays like this. It might get frustrating. You think this has to bounce. Look at the chart. It's way off of the highs. The volume keeps on selling off. Um, it happens sometimes where momentum just completely dies off and nobody really comes back to prop this up. So stay alert for that. That's why don't be emotional. Don't take it overnight. Don't try to swing it. Just let it show itself intraday. And if it doesn't, move on. If it does, attack it. It could offer a really nice move. We got LIXT from Friday. This one, I have a live video going over my trade because the streaming hasn't been working that well for me. So I'm deciding to just record my trades and then put them on YouTube. So if you want to check that video out, LIXT. But this is the multi-day bounce. And this one acted a little weird, but it didn't set up perfectly. I would have liked this to consolidate a few more minutes at least, but I still was a little late to that high break over 129. But that was a trigger, and once it confirmed it, continued to hold the VWAP. That's when we got the push higher into the mid ones. It went further than average 30% move, and that's going to happen. It is an average. Sometimes they're going to go below 30, sometimes they're going to blow past 30. So good example there. And last week there were a few other good ones: GSUN, LUCY, SOUN, GFAI. Those are other ones as well. But yeah, so study those up for the multi-day bounce. So let's just get back to this. VINO, that multi-day bounce. Next up, IVDA. We got a breakout here. Still would like to see more volume come through, but as we can see, low float, low market cap, huge perk, continues to keep holding up, making higher lows. Had a little fake out here, but Friday comes right back, threatens a breakout play, but still not able to push through. It did have a bit of a volume perk, so that's encouraging to see. But really waiting for that serious volume that squeezes shorts out, and you got a bunch of buyers chasing the breakout. And you got a solid key area. I like plays, key levels getting stacked. Here we are with a multi-day and multi-month breakout. So I'm seeing this as a very key area. So once it breaks, in my mind, this really should get ripping up to 3 area. Um, so we'll just wait and see if that happens. Not trying to jump into this too early. You never know how it sets up. So I'd rather be patient and wait for the confirmation of the 220 area and ideally see a lot of volume come back. So this one's also looking pretty nice so far. Holding up really tight to that 220 region. It never really pushed down that much. It held the high ones. So nice to see that happen. We just need to see demand come back because, as we always talk about, without demand, prices aren't going to be going up. That's what drives prices to go up. Demand. You want to see a lot of it to overdo the supply. Um, Where are we at? KPRX. I'm really excited about this play. Multi-day bounce. I really like how this is setting up. You got a nice rip higher. Got to 8.5 all the way from just about 3.5. And now we're fading. Decently off the highs. Holding around whole dollar, half dollar area at 6. Selling pressure is fading. Low float, low market cap play. Very excited to see how this turns out for a possible setup on the multi-day bounce. Let's look at it intraday. So a little choppy here, but continues on lower, but could barely break down. So we got a 632 was that morning low, which lines up right around the previous day low, around 620. And what does it do? It gets down to 6. So it was at the end of the day. It can gap down and push lower. Who knows? But as of now, looking at this, it is looking like it's holding 6 and barely pushing past that 630, 620 key area that it had here for a moment. So that could be an indication that it's having a hard time pushing lower, combining that with the volume and it approaching a key level. Just the way it pushed lower is showing that it can possibly reverse, that it might have a slowdown here. So, and that's one thing to mention. Just because it has a slowdown doesn't mean it has to have a great burst. Sometimes the bounce is a weak volume 5% bounce, just a little momentum shift. So it really depends on the eyes that are on the play, how many shorts are trapped in this. So this one, I think we have a good candidate for a bounce play. TKAT, a play that I completely missed here on Friday. Solid breakout over 131. Let's look at this on the daily chart. Volume really came back. And the move really happened just after hours, got to the mid ones, 160 region. So for this, going to look for a continuation of demand being like this is strong demand. Not incredible, for being honest. The total float is just under 32 million, and it does 8 million. Not fantastic, but it is able to push the stock higher. There is an imbalance between the buyers and sellers here. So if this can keep holding up, confirm the breakout in the 130s, maybe it holds up in the 125, just breaks down a little bit. Remember, it is a zone that you want to play these key levels, not just stick to it just on the penny. So TCAT, we'll just wait and see how demand can, how it is, because that will be the indication of if it's a possible confirmation. Light selling, it keeps holding up, and it starts trying to push higher, making higher lows, just uptrending, giving us a bunch of bullish indicators. Or is it going to die off and sellers come through and it pushes lower? So a waiting game for now. But right now, just want to see how it holds. I don't really like how it gave a nice burst and gave it all back. That's not that nice, but still got a whole other crowd that could join who don't trade after hours and pre-market. Once they see this thing is holding up, maybe they come in on tomorrow on Monday and prop this thing coming in right out of the open. So we'll see the momentum. Don't want to drag this on too long. Just a waiting game, seeing if the breakout confirms. Lastly, HILS. This one, incredible move. Let's go to the daily, get an overview of this. So I will be looking at this for a multi-day bounce. This isn't, how the play typically sets up, but we are focusing on the momentum, the general pattern, how it sets up, not looking for it to spike 2-3 days in a row and dip 1-2-3 days in a row and then look for the bounce right away. Sometimes there's deviations to how the play sets up, but what I'm seeing here is we had a nice push from around 50 cents and then it bursts up to the high ones. And then we get a strong pullback, holds around 1, and it's just a grind higher. Not much volume behind it either. So I don't even think I played this multi-day bounce or had it on watch for a bounce play. So we'll see how this sets up. Now we got this whole entire push higher. We got a bunch of shorts back into this. Look at all this selling that has gone on Friday. So I'm thinking we got a bunch of fresh new shorts in this. looking for this thing to push lower and lower. So that is really the thinking behind the multi-day bounce. And even though it's not setting up the way I normally see it or would like to, the thinking is there. So let's see how much further lower this can go. Just keep this on watch for a bounce play. It could be tomorrow, could be Tuesday, Friday, never. Just wait and see for the play to set up. Just bank off of the move that's already happening. Don't get emotional and try to predict something taking off, because I've done that plenty of times with the multi-day bounce, getting a bit cocky with it and thinking, all right, we're just gonna rinse and repeat every single bounce. Almost works out. That's kind of an exaggeration, kind of dangerous to say that, but I've tracked it. It's a reliable pattern. So I get carried away thinking, all right, we're way off the highs. This is going to reverse. Ends up dumping some more. One time an offering came out while I was in it. Lost about 40% on that position size. That was a while ago. I forgot how much I even had in it. It was about an $800 loss. It was not that much size in the play already. Um, but still, don't want to waste money. We're just trying to trade the patterns that we know and take it a day at a time. And just rinse and repeat. And let the singles add up over time. We're not trying to go for home runs. So trade what's in front of you, and I'll leave you guys with that. Hope you guys have a